Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Sabrina Kamilia binti Muhammad Zain, metric number 267553. So today I will explain about our case file, which is text for the CFO. Should Pfizer acquire Allergen?
So this is the table of content. There are 6 items in total. And the first one is character, second is time and story, third is the issue, fourth is alternative solution, five is recommended solution, and lastly, we will go through the conclusion.
First, we will move to the character. Let's see how many characters are on this case.
There are 3 characters on this case. The first one is Frandy Emilio, which is he is the chief financial officer of Pfizer. And second character is Pfizer Incorporation, and third is Allergen PLC.
Second is timeline story. I split the story for two companies, which is Pfizer and Allergen.
Timeline story for Pfizer. It is founded in New York in 1849 by Charles Pfizer and Charles E. Hart. Pfizer files an official certificate of incorporation in the state of New Jersey, and on 1936, Pfizer became world's leading producer of vitamin C. In 1950, it begins with international expansion in Europe, and the American Streptomycin became the first pharmaceutical sold in the US under the Pfizer label. In 1961, it begins a decade of substantial growth and established new world headquarters in Midtown Manhattan. By 2000, Pfizer and Warner Lambert merged to form a new Pfizer. 2010 announced diversified R&D platform to support vaccine research and development. By 2014, it became a Fortune 100 company with 78,000 employees and almost 50 billion USD in annual revenues. 2015, in the process of coming to an agreement regarding merger with Allergen. This is the timeline story for Allergen. In 1948, pharmacist Gavin S. Hubbard founded Allergen Pharmaceutical Incorporation. In 1980, it was acquired by SmithKline Corporation for 259 million USD. In 1983, Alan Chow and Levick formed Watson Pharmaceutical in Illinois. 2012, Watson acquired Actavis and took Actavis name. In 2014, it had 21,600 employees and a revenue of 13.1 billion USD. By the 2013, Actavis acquired Irish registered War Material Corp and used transaction to execute corporate tax inversion to Ireland. In 2015, Actavis acquired US-based Allergen and redomiciled Allergen to Ireland.
Next, let us see what is immediate and underlying issue.
The main issue for this case is Frandy Emilio needed to prepare a recommendation about whether to proceed or stop merger talks between the Pfizer and Allergen. His dilemma caused from many issues. Let's see the underlying issue for the next slide. So there are 3 underlying issues that has been identified. The first one is revenue drop. It was imperative that Pfizer make a significant change since its sales had fallen during the previous 3 years. The stock price had remained flat, and investors were becoming more restless. In order to strengthen the company's current performance and competitive position against other global pharmaceutical, Pfizer needed to enter into a merger. The second issue is regulatory changes. Because of Allergen's tax resident in Ireland, this transaction was both tempting and problematic. It gave the chance for Pfizer to cut its global tax rate. However, the United States Treasury Department has proposed many regulatory reforms aimed at measures that result in a company's tax resident being transferred to a low-tax country. The third issue is tax inversion. Despite the fact that D'Amelio's legal team avoided using the term of tax inversion, the transaction had many of the characteristics of a tax inversion. But were the tax savings worth the 512 billion price tag, which is it imposed in the first place? It was critical to evaluate the prospective tax savings associated with repatriating foreign earnings, as well as the potential tax savings associated with any future gains. An important consideration for the CFO was determining which assumptions were significant and whether the anticipated tax advantage would still be available after the deal was finalized.
Let's move to the alternative solution.
We move to alternative solution for this case. There are 2 alternative solutions that I have been thinking of. The first one is Pfizer should merge with Allergen, and the second is Pfizer should not merge with Allergen. We will see the details in the next slide. So why Pfizer should merge with Allergen? Let's see the first point. The first point is get 142 billion all-stock deal. Pfizer and Allegiance merger team have informally agreed to a 152 billion all-stock transaction. Pfizer will pay about $363 per share of Allegiance, a 30% premium to Allegiance pre-announcement share price. Allegiance stockholder would get about 11 shares of the merged firm for each share of Allegiance now held, equating to approximately 44% of the combined business share. So the second point is high income tax saving. Income tax benefit for Pfizer were expected to reach about 1.4 billion in the first year after the acquisition. It will rise to 2 billion by the third year after the deal closed. As a part of the deal, Pfizer will also get all of Allegiance's future sales and earnings. The deal would add several valuable high-growth products to Pfizer's product portfolio, but most of the financial benefit of the merger will come from lowering tax rates on Pfizer international operation. So the last point is to reduce the cost to repatriate. The tax reduction will also help Pfizer save money on the expenses of repatriating the 74 billion in offshore cash that the company had accumulated over the years. So this is the reason for the alternative solution 2. The reason why Pfizer should not merge with Allegiance. The first reason is merger actually will impact the tax collection in the US. The agreement will have an effect on US tax collections. The US Department of the Treasury may consider amending the laws regulating inversion. The US Treasury may object to agreement that decrease taxes in this manner referred to as inversion. The disagreement may cause the transaction to be delayed. A greater concern is that legislatures seek larger regulation changes in order to aid American business in competing. That implies Pfizer may have to pay for a momentary benefit. The context uncertainty may have an effect on the tax rate and the probability of tax evasion. The second point is there are too many risks if they merge. After the merger, there is a danger of integration. Both companies are global biopharmaceutical. The acquisition entails a risk of post-merger integration. Allegiance employ over 40,000 people, whereas Pfizer employ over 78,000. Additionally, the company will offer a diverse range of goods and locations. Integrating the departments and affecting the gross margin sustainability will be tough.
The 5 content of the report is recommendation.
From the two alternative solutions, I would suggest to follow alternative solution 1, which is the two companies should be merged. Let's see SWOT analysis first. For the strength, as a company with great market leadership, Pfizer are the best performer in the market. Pfizer and Allegiance both have a high level of consumer recognition for their brands. Pfizer is dedicated to providing high-quality healthcare and cutting-edge therapies. Next, let's see the weakness side. The time and resources had already been spent and lost by AstraZeneca in 2014 because it doesn't work. And now they must make a more thorough choice on whether or not to combine with Allegiance. Next is for opportunities. As a result of the merger, Pfizer will be able to save money on taxes on its worldwide income, which now accounts for the majority of its earnings. Combining force with Allegiance will also enable Pfizer to maintain up with the trends of the pharmaceutical industry since they combine income and earnings. Next is for threat. There are several competitors both internationally and domestically. If the merger with Allegiance turns out to be a bad move, it might have negative consequences for the company's finance and net income, as well as for its high level of brand awareness worldwide. The lingering question is whether or not to proceed with merger talks between Pfizer and Allegiance. So in this part, I will give my opinion about the issue. I believe that Pfizer and Allegiance should be combined together. Why I say like that? This is due to the fact that the pharmaceutical and biotechnology sectors are developing so fast, and the business that are engaged in this industry have seen a significant increase in their income since 2010, when the industry began to take place a greater emphasis on human health technologies. Because of the age element of the customer, this technology is tied to and dependent on the consumer who need more healthcare and have a bigger disposable money. The average age of the patient is about above 60 years old. Based on the fact of the case, it was concluded that there were encouraging signals that the United States was in an economically robust time and that the number of patients aged 65 and above would be on the rise. As a result, the pharmaceutical and biotechnology industry will be able to maintain their competitiveness.
And lastly, let's move to the conclusion.
Based on the discussion, actually there are many benefits from the merger. Pfizer may not only lower its tax rate, but also get access to billions of dollars in income by joining with Allegiance.
That's all from me. Thank you. Thank you for your time for exploring the case with me.